Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final round in this Overwatch Amateur Invitational match. The two teams we have for you tonight is Team Viral versus Carried to Bronze. This is the last chance that either of these teams has to make it through the group stage. Either team that wins tonight will probably have to win all four maps to have any chance to go through to the next round. If you guys haven't joined us before, this is basically the group stages. We then go through to the playoffs. We play 4 matches every round between two teams. We play the typical hybrid map, either Hollywood or King's Row. Then we go to a nice control point map, either Lijiang Tower or Nepal. Then we go to our 2CP, Anubis and Volskaya, or Volskaya rather. And then the 4th map is going to be just a pure payload, Dorado or Route 66. So that's how it works. We play all 4 maps, and both of these teams are looking to make sure this is a clean sweep, to make sure they can go through to the next stage. At this stage, both teams are just setting up at this stage, trying to get into the map. We are very excited to have you. These two teams, I must admit, I've seen Team Viral a couple of times before, and they are a really good team. They come from the South African scene, and I think Carried to Bronze comes more from the European scene. So it's going to be very interesting to see what these two teams can bring to the foreground. I know a lot of Team Viral is sitting at that Masters rank, just trying to get through. A couple of their players are still trying to get out of Diamond at this stage, trying to break into Masters / Grandmasters, maybe make a name for themselves in the top 500, but both teams certainly has a lot of respect, and you can see by the players, just icons, that they have a lot of experience in this game. So it's going to be interesting to see how both these teams fare off on each of the different styles. Maybe one team favors a control point map rather than a payload map, and it's going to be very interesting to see. This is also going to be the first game I'm getting to cast where Doomfist is now in the meta, and it's going to be very interesting to see how they adapt to this and whether they actually decide to run him. A lot of pro players have been, the field has been pretty split between the two opinions on Doomfist himself, is whether he's completely overpowered or just, you know, a pretty standard hero and doesn't dominate the meta. So it's going to be very interesting to see if any of the teams do pick him up. Of course, we're still just, settling out of that dive meta. It's going to be very interesting to see if teams are still going back to that old Genji Tracer, Winston strategies that goes constantly and was such a dominant force in the previous meta, or if they're trying something new. I mean, we saw a couple of games where we had a Risa and Torbjorn combination, which is very, very powerful on a lot of these maps, especially if we see something like Hollywood. That's been shown to have a lot of power for a lot of teams on that sort of map. But it's going to be very interesting to see how both of these teams has adapted to the new metas as it starts to fall into place at this stage. Maybe they're going to come up with something new that they've been hiding at this. So we are just going to be deciding now. Both of the teams really want to get their maps that they're more comfortable on, but unfortunately for them, they aren't getting to choose. It's not the standard pick ban that we go. We really want to see what these guys can do on all the types of maps. So when they have chosen those, I will let you know. If you guys are just joining us now, I am Ultraism. You're probably on my channel right now, and it's fantastic to have you here for tonight's Overwatch Amateur Invitational Cup. Seems like the guys aren't 100% sure exactly how the map choices go. So hopefully they jump into that. As far as I'm aware, the first map is going to be the hybrid map of Hollywood or King's Row. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, a lot of teams could use that dive very, very well here, especially for that first point. I mean, teams could swap off very easily when pushing the payload or trying to get back onto the payload. So it's going to be interesting to see where King's Row seems to be the map that we've done. I've casted a lot of King's Row in the local South African scene. If you guys have managed to tune into that VS Gaming seen, go check out the other videos on the channel. See Team Viral in action. I know I've got at least one up there. And it's very interesting to see how teams have favored the dive comp, but not just on the attack, on the defense as well. There's been a lot of teams who have just hidden in that first side room where they can jump out and surround the teams and try and attack into a dive team that maybe splits up or gets separated a little bit. So it seems like Viral is going to be attacking first on this King's Row. It's going to be very interesting to see how they go about this. Certainly gives them the opportunity. Neither of these teams has played off against each other at this stage, so they still want to maybe feel each other out. I know a lot of these games haven't been casted or covered before, so there's not really a lot of opportunity, as far as I know, for them to feel each other out. As we do jump straight into this. I am unfortunately solo casting tonight, guys, so I'm in charge of everything. In charge of the scores, in charge of the maps, in charge of the camera and everything. So I'm going to try to do my best to make sure that I catch all the action that I possibly can. But I'm sorry if I miss a Dragon Blade or two or something like that. And now we see Carry to Bronze is going to be on the defense on the blue side, with Team Viral on the red side. Carry to Bronze seems to be going for a pretty solid lineup at this stage, still favoring that Tracer, Diva and Winston, doing a bit of a dive comp on their own. You obviously know that Diva is still very, very powerful at this stage. It just mitigates so much damage and just really creates a lot of space. And we've got, combine that with that Discord Orb from the Zenyatta, and you can really have a lot of quick burst damage that just, it gives your team a lot of kill potential. So you've got a dive Waxadak. That's a very interesting name. I love guys who make my job as a caster really nice and easy. It seems like Team Viral is pretty much locked into this unless they make any changes. Going with Silencio on a Reaper at this stage. Kraken's on the Diva. Silencio just messing me around at this stage. It seems like the coach is on the wrong team, so the guys are going to have to pause at this stage. Stop. Someone needs to try and pause this. Unfortunately, I'm not a moderator, so coaches can see the enemies and the teams will know, but we will be going straight into it at this stage. We see Timu just waiting on the side there. I'm not sure if they're going to be pausing. No, it doesn't seem like it at this stage. Timu takes a lot of damage very early, just hides in the background there. Being very nice and disciplined is this Carry to Bronze team. Wow, Lucio leading the charge here. Gyro getting very aggressive into this front line now. Actually manages to stay alive, goes down very low here, and he's left a lot of his team behind. Creatix has gone down now on the Zenyatta, and that's not someone you want to lose at this stage of the game. We are seeing Gyro still alive in this back line. Timmy just trying to hunt them down, but it does seem like Carry to Bronze has done a very nice hold at this stage. Six goes down, and that will probably be the end of Team Viral's push. We see Safekeeper just sitting up here in this top room, doing a huge amount of work, just being able to sit on there. And there's not really anyone to contest him on this high ground. I mean, you got Sigs on the Winston, but Winston doesn't really want to jump onto a soldier on their own on the background. I mean, worst case scenario, Safekeeper just drops down to the rest of his team. We do finally have the pause. The coach is still on the wrong team. We need to swap that around, and I hope that we don't have to restart this, because that was a very good hold there by Carry to Bronze. Skyfire does now have the Lucio ult, the sound barrier waiting to go down. Timu's very close to his ult. Silencio does have his ult, but with nothing to combo with, no Graviton Surge or anything like that, it's going to be very difficult. Could be nice for just clearing out the point, or, you know, when everyone's in the midst of it. It could be very nice to just throw in the background unexpectedly when people are committing to the fight. But teams are busy just arguing at this stage about whether they really should restart, and it looks like we will. So everything that I've said so far has gone down. We have to just restart the map. Maybe the teams have just gotten their aim in now. Bit of Nice warm-up practice there for the two teams, and it's going to be very interesting to see. Going to be very lucky for Team Viral. They had a long first push there, and they actually now get all that time back when it didn't work out. No real ultimates that would be a devastating loss at this stage. Both teams were pretty even on the footing. It was quite a amount of time though to tick down, and now Timu is very upset by that. Now we're being punished. So I think it is just better for both teams to go out, and it'll be very interesting. It does seem that both teams are going to be sticking to the same teams that they had before, so it was very interesting to see Gyro just scoot ahead of his team there, maybe being playing a bit too much Lucio ball as the patch has dropped at this stage. Did chase ahead of his team, and Silencio actually going onto the Pharah at this stage, was on the Reaper previously, or actually on the Hanzo. I lie. Has picked up that Pharah and did do a lot of work on that Hanzo. We did see him be the first member of his team to pick up that ultimate. So it's very interesting to see that they have swapped off it, maybe just feeling that they weren't getting enough reliable hits. I mean, when you're going against something like a Tracer, it can be very, very difficult to land those headshots. And if you do land it, great, you get an instant kill. But otherwise, you end up just spending a lot of your time not really doing anything. Silencio does seem like they're sticking at it, and they do in fact bring out the Mercy as well, and Darium now swapping onto that, maybe hoping to see a pharmacy combo doing well on this map. I mean, King's Row has always been famous for a great pharmacy map. Silencio now is sitting, has got that gold rocket launcher that he's going to try to do it, sends the rocket out. Don't think he would have given that away. It does hit the side there, and maybe just hoping to put a lot of more pressure on Safekeeper there on the Soldier 76. Now shedding in a lot of damage. Hasn't picked up anyone yet. Everyone's still looking pretty healthy. The two bubbles go down in the middle. Silencio actually gets damaged by its own rocket, as we see. Now the rest of his side dive into the back, but he does get the pick off again. The Zenyatta is the first one to go down. Brent is now looking very in a lot of trouble. Does get demeched at this stage, but Timu running around still. But they have gotten onto the point. Team Viral's done a lot of work and has actually now being pushed off a little bit. Still, these elusive dive characters working well together. Oh, but a rocket to the face takes out Brent. Not able to get back into his mech. Silencio does have the barrage, does drop it now. Skyfire goes down, does pay with his life, but he did get 2 picks now. Was Silencio, and it does seem like, even though this is contested, Team Viral does have the number advantage. Now Rain is just pumping ahead, does get another kill here on Creates X. Timu diving around the point trying to stall this out, and Brent is there, but he is the last man left alive now. Does get demeched, is sure to go down to this number of Winstons around. There he does go down, and it seems like Viral has managed to take this point. There's still a lot of contention by carry to bronze. We see them trickling in one at a time, and as Rain picks up the Lucio, and it's now just a trickle fight at this stage. 2 men left on the point now just to take it, as we see couple of players chasing forward to try and pick up a kill or two. I think now just carry to bronze needs to back up, try and just not feed any more ultimate charge. A nice jump forward from Waxadek, manages to get him that last little bit towards the ulti, and they have given up the payload at this stage, and with a lot of time left on the clock, I think they're going to be a little bit sour after they defended so well in the first game and they just had to go back. We do see now Brent trying to mitigate the damage, but now Siggs is quite far forward from the rest of his team, and he may just pay with his life. He is getting hammered down by a couple of people, but there's a lot of people behind now. Brent is having to just drop back. Silencio is doing a lot of work here on the Pharah, and actually Team Viral's pushed up quite heavily, only leaving 1 person on the payload as the rest of the team goes back, and they do seem to be making a good job of it now, picking up a nice couple of kills. Silencio and the pharmacy combo coming out to a lot of effect here, and that means the payload has pushed all the way basically to this final corner. It's going to be interesting to see if Carry to Bronze wants to try and make something happen. Everyone for the side of Team Viral has their ultimate, as we see Gyro now just sitting at the back trying to stay onto it. We do see this Brent gets a pick off on Siggs, but there's the res. They've got so many ultimates to work with, just trying desperately to stay out just stall out this last push is carried to bronze. Brent is in the front lines, just making sure to sit on that. But when you're dealing with the Tracer buzzing around behind you and Siggs' Winston, it just means that you can't mitigate that damage as we do push now onto this final point. 4 ultimates for the side of carried to bronze, 3 for the side of Team Viral, being very nice and rationing with their ultimates there, using 3 of them to secure that final push. And now they've got a couple. They've got Gyro's sound barrier, they've got Krakens to clear the point. Siggs' ultimate might be able to get a couple of boobs, but a nice couple of defensive ultimates here for the side. Early sound barrier popped out from both sides, actually, just making sure to keep everyone healthy at this stage. Here we see the bomb go out, doesn't manage to pick up anyone. Rain now doing a huge amount of work, pops it onto the ground, doesn't manage to pick up anyone at this stage. The contention on the Wastek has jumped out there, Crazy Monkey going wild, trying to knock anyone, isn't managing to do much at this stage, not really getting one, and they've got to worry about Silencio here on this Pharaoh. Siggs Wastek is trying to chase him down, finally manages to get the kill. A really nice work by the Winston there to just try and get them off, and this is the first time Carried to Bronze has really been in good control of the payload, just manages to push Team Viral all the way back now, and it's their turn to really dictate where this engagement goes. Rain just managing to keep his players up as they try and just poke and prod a little bit. Kraken's there on the background, not really doing anything at this stage, just waiting for the engagement. Chases down the Winston, interestingly enough, not there now to guard the rest of his team. We do see the sights coming out from Safekeeper here, not managing to pick up anyone. Krakens has that defense maker pushing in the wrong direction, but now we see Silencio dropping that. Doesn't get anyone with the barrage. Seems like we've got Siggs changing instead from the Winston now to the Reinhardt, just maybe thinking that they need a little bit more of a cohesive push at this stage. Doesn't really get anyone behind him at this stage. We see a lovely res from Indarium, doesn't pick anyone up, and Safekeeper just doing so much work now in this match, just managing to put a huge amount of consistent damage. Now he's picked off though, surrounded by the Team Viral team, does go down as we see. Now and just Brent, the last one left on this payload, and it has seemed like Viral has managed to pick this back up. Gyro is swapped onto the Ana and has managed to pick up a very quick ultimate now. We see this Skyfire, actually gets taken out by a triple pulse bomb. Rain doing an amazing amount of work there, just putting it right there in the choke. Wastek has now knocked off the Reinhardt. Really nice play by him. Not just contesting the payload, but also getting a lot of work done with this Primal Rage at this stage. We see the self-destruct coming into the middle. What an amazing bit of play here from Wastek, managing to trap that in the bubble, reads the trajectory perfectly, does pay with his life, but did shield the rest of his team. As we see now, the whole side of Team Viral is up, is healthy. Krakens went very low there, but managed to pull back and get picked up both by the Lucy. I see Silencio comes from an amazing flank from the side, does manage to pick up just the mech at that stage, but not doing enough. Safekeeper turns this fight around, managing to get that. Another amazing res here by Indarium, picks up everyone on the point there, and it seems like Viral now has the numbers. Siggs has gone down, Safekeeper pays on the other side. Timu going down as well. Timu been playing a lot of great work on his DPS. Silencio finds a direct right into Skyfire. No one really coming out ahead now, but we do see that Carried to Bronze has that bit of spawn advantage, and they just are able to reinforce a little bit. And Indarium does fall off the map, has no one to fly to at this stage. Siggs going crazy, swinging his hammer. They've got 50 seconds left. It might be worth them just backing up, trying to recollect. They are having their deaths horribly staggered now. Siggs did go down. Kraken's now demeched, and you never want a diva to just get staggered like that. A really nice bit of stagger by Team Carried to Bronze. Team Viral now really just needs to make a concerted effort. They've got only a couple of meters left, but they've only got 30 seconds left on the clock. They have to get a very concerted push. Safekeeper doing a stellar job here on the Soldier 76, making sure to keep himself out of position, out of a dangerous position. Now looks for the flank, 80% on his ultimate, maybe wants to just try charge this up, get a couple more percentage, shells down that Reinhardt shield, not getting a lot. A nice hammer dunk there, gets the pin, but it's only on a diva. That's not the target you want. Doesn't pick up anyone. Safekeeper now has an ultimate, pops out the sides and gets one, gets two, and actually they don't get a man on the payload. Team Viral just could not push through fast enough, and a great hold there at the end. Carried to bronze, looked a bit shaky in the streets phase, but managed to just, on that last corner, held it together, managed to take control of that payload, and didn't really give it up after that. So a lovely bit of play there. Just really nice bit of staggered contention on the point, and a good bit of just staying alive. Wastek there with a couple of clutch plays there, booping off the Reinhardt in his primal rage, and getting a really nice trap of the Diva Bomb meant that his team could just stay and contest that payload for as long as needed, and they did manage to push it up. So carried to bronze, nice hold, but it was quite a good push by Team Viral, getting a very nice early capture of that first point, and then managing to push it almost all the way. So it does mean carried to bronze will have to basically finish out the map to take this map, and they would love to do that at this stage of the game. We do see them now, Timu going on a Widowmaker, maybe just trying to scout out in the beginning of the map, hopefully get an early pick for them, and it would be nice. They are a couple of targets that would be prime for an early pick. I mean, you've got the gyro on that, and it does stay stationary, trying to heal up their teammates, and if you can pick off Endarium's Mercy in the beginning of a map, you just really slow down that resurrection. And if you can do that, even if you lose the first map, if you take out that resurrection, it gives you a second push without it to try and, you know, just get it. Because if you let a Mercy go crazy and just stay alive and heal up everyone, they get that res, and it makes it an almost impossible. You have to double push and really do well on that first push. So we see Safekeeper now instead switching to the Tracer. That was Timu. Timu not actually going for the Widowmaker, instead going full out dive here. He's gone onto the Genji, maybe looking for an early pick. They do go around the side. Everyone going together. They've got the Lucio just going up and around, just making sure to hold that high ground. They do see a nice dodge of the rocket there as they're pushing further and further, not jumping down onto the point, and now we see a lot of contention. Krakens has gone all into them and has got himself a little bit deep, does back out to the team, and it now is carried to bronze with all the high ground advantage that they could possibly want. I mean, unfortunately they've got a Sigs hunting down their backline. Kratex has not had a lot of free space on this Zenyatta in this match. Sigs might pay with his life, he does in fact, and now they've got to they've got all their dive, they've still got their Lucio keeping them up, and Timu does just take a step back now on this Genji. Not picking up anyone at this stage, but they have pushed up, and there he goes diving into the background. Does manage to get one, almost got his Dragon Blade out, looking for the kill on the Reaper, and helps with it, and a really nice first fight now. We do see Timu has that Dragon Blade if he wants, but they do have good contention of the point at this stage. Timu just maybe a little bit low on life, does pick up gyros, and at this stage Sigs has done very well to get his ultimate up this quickly. We do see Endarium, but Endarium doesn't have that ultimate at this stage, still 15% short at this stage. We do see Rain coming out with this ultimate, not able to pick up anyone at this stage, countered by the Transcendence at this stage. We now see Timu going with that Dragon Blade, gets picked off. No, he doesn't. He's still slashing away there. Doesn't manage, he gets to their Krakens' mech, and another one as we see him finally going down. And this is a long drawn out fight. Endarium does have a resurrect, but is very far back, and that will be the capture by carried to bronze. Took a little bit of time, but they managed to keep people on the point, and Team Viral slowly trickling through, trying to make sure that they kept someone on the point at all stage, and they are not able to contest that, and will now just hopefully try and stall out this payload in the streets phase. They do need to try and hold on to this. They do have a bit of free space, but this dive coming from carried to bronze, just doing so much work, staying alive for so long. Rain does set himself up now on the high ground, is trying to shoot down with the Diva behind him to try and just stay alive, but Timu dives straight onto him. Mercy is able to keep him alive and just brings him back from the death. Timu dives out now, and now a bit of space being created by the Diva Bomb, and there we go. We see Waxadak just managing to shut down that Diva Bomb again, but again yes, Rain's positioning here, just lethal, managing to shell damage and manages. He was only on 50% ultimate charge at the beginning of the fight, and just through his positioning has managed to pull himself all the way back up to that ultimate. Now, Creatix does have the Transcendence though, and it means that he can be countered quite heavily, but it means Creatix has to stay alive at this stage. And with his positioning, as long as he doesn't try and commit to the fight too early, we see this Team Viral side just splitting up completely and surrounding the enemy team. And that's what they need to do against this dive, is just pick off that backline. We now see them diving quite badly into the backline. Pops the sights actually for this narrow little corridor, and instead manages to pick up the one, picks up the kill on Timu. But only that one, and Waxadak manages to actually pull out and just keeps on the payload. No one really there to back him up at this stage, and he may just be feeding ultimate charge at this stage. Manages to dive back out to his team, and does seem like Team Viral has very good contention of this payload. We do see Timo and his team does have a lot of ultimates at this stage. He has got that anti-heal grenade on him, so he was going to want to just back up, get healed, and we do see now his teammate Waxadak just going crazy, getting a little bit of space, and they do manage to take control of the payload again. Kraken's now out of his mech, and not even needing this Dragon Blade at this stage. Puts on a lot of damage onto Rain, and he picks him up. Darian pulls out that resurrection, but now we see the Dragon Blade going to work. Silencio is picked off. Sigs falls as well to the Dragon Blade. And here we go, Skyfire just making sure to keep his team. They've got the advantage. They want to now just push that advantage. And they do. Timu manages to get out that last secure kill here. And does look like they're going to just dive forward, make sure that they can collect that last payload. With 1:33 left on before it even ticks up, they do have a lot of time. But Timu does fall at this stage. We see Creatix now popping that Transcendence, mitigating a large amount of that attack visor. Silencio comes through from the back line, does a lot of work, just cleans him up, but does pay with his life. Safekeeper just making sure at this stage. Here we see a Diva Bomb placed right on the middle of that. Does manage to pick up Skyfire, not able to find some security and some safety behind anything. And with millimeters to spare, it does look like Viral has managed to come out and contest this payload. With 54 seconds, they've done a really good job, and it's going to be actually quite difficult, I think, to pop them off this. Indarium's very close to his ultimate. Silencio with that Beyblade could really wreak havoc. Waxadak does have his ultimate, and Brent does have the Diva Bomb. So Diva Bomb could be very useful to push at that last couple of centimeters over that back line and just clear it out and secure this point. They don't have a lot of really offensive ultimates though, and I think Brent will want to just try and mitigate some damage. Waxadak can contest this for as long as needed. They do jump onto Gyro. That's a critical pick-off. There goes a large amount of the healing at that stage. Waxadak. Creatix has gone down, so that's a large amount. Silencio does get the spin, picks off two. Waxadak does go down. Rain coming through with his ultimate as well. And it seems like Viral's actually managed to hold this. Where they had millimeters to go, carries to bronze. Maybe feeling a little bit angry that they did get maybe cheated out of that first round hold that they had going so well, but you have to give it to Team Viral at this stage. Really nice hold there at the end, and Carried to Bronze did a really nice defense, but not able to get it over the last few centimeters at this stage. This has to be the pulse bomb that went into the final thing here. Yes, he does. He drops it into the entrance here, picks off three of them, just secures that this payload can move as far forward. Really nice play here. Here we see Waxadak really saving his team from the full push. But well played to both teams. Team Viral does take this first map. It is a 4-map series, so they will be very happy with this and do need every point to count if either team has any hope of going through to the next round. So it seems like Krakens just does have to restart his router quickly. He will be back in a second, and now we go on to the control point map, Lijiang Tower or Nepal, as we move through to the second round. if you guys are just joining us, Team Viral almost managing to push it all the way to the end. Didn't, in fact, though, take the first map. Did not manage to close out the first map, but did manage a hold in the streets phase of King's Row, which gave them the first game advantage. Just updating the scores, and it should be Viral's pick now for what map we go to. So what I saw there was Safekeeper doing a huge amount of work on that Soldier 76, constantly putting on pressure, and that's what you need to do as a soldier, is make sure you're just constantly shelling out damage. And there we saw that they really struggled to off-seat him in the beginning when they picked that Reaper into him. He knows his positioning really, really well. Was able to do a lot. Waxadak, very, very controlled and very disciplined as a Winston player. Knows when to jump forward and didn't overextend at any stage. Timu played an awesome tracer there. Swapped to the Genji on the attack and was able to pick off a couple of nice fights there, drawing some nice Dragon Blades. Great support from Carry to Bronze. Team Viral though, and Darian pulling off some incredible reses there on his team. Just making sure that they were able to just keep going, and that we just they were able to maintain so well. Brent did really, really well on the Diva. Did a nice amount of work, but I think the biggest problem was Creatix just was being picked off so much on the Zenyatta, and that is one of the big problems with Zenyatta. He offers so much to your offense, so much to your dive, but if you don't protect him, and you don't as a team work around just making sure you've got someone there to sit back with him and make sure that they can't dive onto you. And we did see Viral doing a pretty good job at diving onto him. We did see Sigs on the Winston. He just had one job in that entire round, was get onto the Zenyatta, sit on his face, kill him, and make sure that he was played no part. And it's so difficult to provide that constant healing, provide good Discord targets when you have a a Winston in your face. Couple of really nice plays. Sigs playing really well on the Winston, just hunting him down, and Darian playing a really good solid Mercy. Didn't really dive out and got value out of all of his raises. Rain had a nice amount of positioning there. We saw him there on the Soldier, and both teams playing really, really well. Highly contested matches, and we did see both teams getting a lot of ultimates out there. We saw both the Lucios popping sound barriers at the same time, and fights just turned back and forth. But what I did notice, one of the really nice factors was neither team really threw away their ultimates. Neither team really wasted big ultimates. We saw Rain getting a lovely Pulse Bomb on a Tracer, and Pulse Bomb is one of the hardest ultimates in the game to hit with consistency. So a really nice bit of play, and really, really good play by both sides to know exactly how many ultimates it took to win a fight. They pulled out, we did see Tibu on the Genji, when they had won the fight, he didn't bother pulling out his Dragon Blade, and it was only when Viral really started to reinforce it that he decided at that stage that was the play. So it seems like Krakens is back in the game. They have all the players going in, and our control point will be Lijiang Tower. So sorry if anyone wanted to see Nepal. I know Nepal's a really nice map. It's a very nice mix, but Lijiang has a lot, and considering both teams really enjoyed their Lucio picks, it's going to be very interesting to see if they exploit the amount of just pick off opportunities that you can get with the boops. I mean, this map on its own, you can see some phenomenal Lucio plays. I don't know if any of these guys have that sort of dedication to Lucio where they can ride on the outside of the wall and try to pick people off and with a boop as they come over the map. But it is going to be interesting to see. Silencio did favor the Pharah in the previous game, and this is Pharah's. Out of pretty much all the control points, I think Pharah enjoys this map the best out of any of them. Maybe one or two other maps that they really enjoy, but you can get a lot of amazing pick-offs if the other team is not careful. I see that Carried to Bronze is not running any sort of Pharaoh or anything. I should probably give you guys some game action. There we go. Making sure I don't get any complaints about overlayers still on. So Safekeeper is in fact running his own Pharaoh at this stage. There we see a really nice boop managed to get caught there by Krakens, and so no one falls off. I thought that could have been very dangerous. Safekeeper staying back, and Gyro going very far forward. We saw that previously, as we see a couple of players actually falling off the map at this stage. Carried to Bronze, losing 3 members at this stage, and Safekeeper is going to have to drop back. And Darium and Silencio, that pharmacy combo, just proving horrific for their side and getting a couple of really nice picks. It seems like Silencio knows exactly how to play around these walls, just shelling in damage there into the main choke. Brent doing a really nice job to just, you know, mitigate that, catch a couple of those rockets as they go through. Seems like there's a bit of a split here from the side of Carried to Bronze. People going in different directions, and we see the D.Va diving ahead while his Soldier is way behind now. It does coming back into the mix. Timu going for the Soldier now. A lot of switching between these DPS players in this game. And Darium jumps up there to Silencio, making sure to keep it going. And Silencio does have the Pharaoh barrage, knows how to get a lot of value out of it. The D.Va is still in the mech, so he is going to definitely want to make sure that that's down first. There are a lot of people in a very small area now, and does get a pick off now onto Creatix. Again, Creatix now swapping to the Mercy in this game. That is the mech going down though for the side of Brent. So Brent has no way to catch this barrage if he does want it. Safekeeper manages to escape with his life. No air rockets yet for Silencio, but does actually manage to escape on a sliver of health. It is Team Viral at this stage, managing to hold with a definite certainty on this point. Carried to Bronze has 4 ultimates at this stage against the 5 of Team Viral, so it's going to be very much a case of who gets the most value out of their ultimates. Silencio has held on to this barrage for a long time, manages to take out Timu with an amazing direct rocket as he jumps into the point. We do see a nano boost onto the Winston. Silencio just doing a huge amount of work, and I know I've been focused on him for a long time, but he's got such a view of the area, and again they just push back, and with 92% Justice ready from above, Creatix having to do a emergency res just to try and get someone onto the point. They do manage, but it was on their side, and when you've got just only 1 or 2 players on the point at this stage against the entire lineup, Timu manages to pick off the Pharaoh, does get taken out with the rocket to the back. Silencio does get picked up, and now the D.Va bomb doesn't manage to take up anyone, and it does seem like Viral is just going to have to clean up. We see a Justice from above, both of the 2 Pharaohs taking themselves out at this stage. Gyro keeping a good amount of healing from the back line here. Great Twitch accuracy, gets a lovely little anti-heal grenade on the Lucio, and that's devastating, especially when you're trying to contest an overtime. Yeah, no one focusing on Gyro, gets the sleep on the Winston that's trying to hunt him down. Is very low on health though, and no one wakes up the Lucio, wakes up the Winston. Winston now tries to hunt down Gyro, does manage to finally get his man. As we see Silencio back on the points, and it's been an incredibly long overtime from both these sides. Krakens does go. It seems like Carried to Bronze is getting a lot of men on the points at this stage, and Darium pulling that pistol, trying to just clean up this point, and this stage neither team really being able to clear the point quickly enough. Constantly having a bit of a couple of things. Gyro now does do it. It does seem like they've got 1 more man on the point. Oh, a lovely bit of win and a play there. Great teamwork there. Gyro does stay alive, and Silencio does get taken out by the opposite Pharaoh. You got it, Pharaoh. The D.Va does go down. It's difficult to swap between these players as they're all going down so fast, and it does seem like Carried to Bronze finally, with 99% and an incredibly long overtime, does finally manage to turn it around. Silencio now comes in, and it does mean though that with Gyro's ultimate they can come through and Silencio is on 95%, so there's going to be a couple of ultimates for the side of Team Viral. Carried to Bronze has a couple on their own, and Waxadak does have a ultimate of his own if he does need to just stall this out. And we see Timu going down. Timu now in fact playing as Zenyatta, so he's been going everywhere in this, just knowing exactly who his team needs to play. Incredible flex player Creatix does go down at this stage. Creatix instead, tired of the support life, tired of being attacked by the Winston, manages to swap onto a DPS player, and now we see a pulse get swallowed by the Diva as Rain managed to pick it, just hides in the side. Both teams going at balls to the wall at this stage, and we see both of them not wanting to contest, or wanting to contest for as long as possible, and it just is a problem though for Viral, because this contention means that Carry to Bronze is slowly ticking up. They've already got to 65%, and this was from a 99% shutout overtime that they managed to turn around. So really nice bit of play here from Carry to Bronze, and you can see that these players are just so in tune with each other. They are sticking together, making sure to push as a team, holding yet again up to 80%, and they could actually do a full turnaround at this stage. Creatix now going back onto the Ana, just realizing his job on his time on the Tracer was done, is a little bit low on health, doesn't manage to pick up his fellow Pharah there, and instead now we see the rest of the team going crazy. Oh, the Diva Bomb actually manages to pick up 3, including the mech, and that could be the turnaround. Kraken's again picking up so much. Timu now wants to show what he can do with this Dragon Blade. Picks up the brand new mech from Kraken's, does pay with his life. As it seems that Team Viral is now going crazy. They are taking control of this point, and they just needed to tick over 99% for both teams. So both teams now with everything to play for. Just shows how good both these teams are at defending this. We do have the Nano Burst ready. Gyro throws it out on the Winston. Get that consistent damage. Make sure to clear that point. And is doing a lot of work now. Just wants to stay alive until he gets that grenade. Does manage to get it back up. And has got himself on fire as he tries. And he manages to get into the space. His Mercy and Darium able to come back. And it does look like, there we go. Viral, after being on 99% for the entire map, after giving it up after a massively long overtime, Carry to Bronze taking that point, holding that point, and then giving it away at the last second. Amazing play by both these teams, just high pace and good consistent presence on the point by both of them. Really not really a good amount of work, and I mean, yes, that was what, a 10-minute round that we had in that game. Just huge amounts of stalling tactics by both team, and really nice play by both of them. Silencio now going for the Doomfist. Please tell me this is not a trick. I would love to be able to cast a Doomfist game. Very interested to see how he plays on this, and it is in fact. I'm going to follow this for a while, guys. I hope you don't mind, but I'm very excited to see what a competitive Doomfist can do. I mean, that instant pick potential, and now he shows himself, and as long as he's got some backup, being very cautious at this stage not to dive in. There we see him getting a punch on. Doesn't manage to pick anyone up at this stage. And Darium taking a lot of damage. Does manage to survive and gets the first pick onto Skyfire. Silencio picking up the Lucio. Lucio can be very, very hard to pin down, but if you do with the Doomfist hit, then you can do a huge amount of work. Now we see, oh wow, Sig's taking a huge amount of damage. Does manage to stay alive, and Team Viral picks up the first points now, puts it on their side, and that's what they really wanted to do. They managed to hold it so well in the previous round and just managed to outlast the other team. No one really close to ultimates at this stage. Rain is very close. He's in fact got his ultimate now, and it's going to be interesting to see how he does. Just sitting at the background there, getting himself onto that high ground, knowing that if he can get the Carry to Bronze to commit to a fight, he got a nice little bit of a shooting gallery there. We do see Silencio just escaping with his life, actually goes into the air, comes down, does pay for his life, doesn't get any picks. As we see Sigs also going down, but there's the res. Silencio in the back lines manages to pick up Creatix on that Mercy, doing a huge amount of work. Really nice bit of play by him. Dives forward a little bit, doesn't cancel his punch, but is keeping this. Oh, Farah busy. Safekeeper says, are you keeping me busy or have I just got you where I want you? Manages to get onto the point, and now it's the time for Carried to Bronze to take control of this point. Really nice bit of play by them. Waxadak doing a huge amount of work and getting that consistent damage out, followed up by the burst. Good, well-placed rockets by Safekeeper, and together they clear that point. Creatix does have a Mercy res at this stage, so that's going to be very important to follow, as he has that opportunity for a good pickup if this fight goes wrong. Oh, what a play by Rain, managing to get the 3-man, and it was the 2 men with their ultimates, manages to shut them down, and they get to clear the point. Silencio is going forward now, has that ultimate to bail him out if he needs to. What a play by Rain, getting the instant on fire, and he deserved that, managing to sneak out onto that high ground, pick up that high noon and get a lot of work. So if you guys had any worry about if McCree was back in the meta, I don't think you can really contest that at this stage. Just showing Rain doing a huge amount of work, and now Team Viral has pushed forward so far, making sure to shut down this choke. I mean, especially when you've got a Silencio coming down, manages to get a double kill at this stage. Manages to pick up another one. Great res by Creatix, but that's just to push into the control point. 95%. They need to get a couple of men on, but they've got the numbers at this stage. Timu, don't forget, has that ultimate, does have that tagged visor, doesn't even need to pop it. They clear this at this stage. Now he's going to be looking for the high ground, just trying to pull the same tricks that Rain did. Sigs has his ultimate, and Darium does have the res. So with 99% on the board, this is going to have to be a very clean fight by Carried to Bronze. Going to have to do this more than once, and you see the whole team just setting up there on that high ground, wanting to pounce down as Team Viral is committed to a fight. Timu just making sure to hold this high ground, trying to put in a couple of damage, but 50% on the side of Carried to Bronze. They've got a while to go at this stage, and they can't afford to let this go easy. We see the hammer down, come down. Timu now needs to just drop down and use that visor. Does get the Mercy. That was the critical kill. Did have the res. Does get battered down, but his team is pretty much dead at this stage. It took him too long. He was being hunted by the Diva, and it did mean Waxadak has to hold this point. Does get pinned by the Reinhardt. Sigs doing a nice amount of work there. Silencio just getting to the back line now. Does manage to pick it up. Doesn't actually. Gets the punch, but doesn't knock anyone down. And now it is the time to try and lock down the rest of this point. Comes down on top of the Diva. Gets Creatix on the Mercy as well. Looking to clean up this point. All they have to do is turn this point. They're not managing to do it at this stage, as the side, the nice res comes out, and Darium always getting a lot of value out of this, and we just see the kill cams going crazy on both sides. Carried to Bronze actually managing to turn this around. Nope, at the last second, I lie, they didn't manage. Viral just holding people on the point, managing to turn around, and Carried to Bronze had a couple of people alive, but no one managed to get back on the point, and Team Viral, 2 maps up, 2 rounds up now in this best of 5. They are already an entire round up, taking that King's Row first map, now taking 2 rounds in this, and it's amazing to see how they've been able to adapt this Doomfist so quickly into it, but definitely the player of the game has to be Rain on that. McCree just getting that high noon from the high ground, and Carried to Bronze had a couple of ultimates, not able to really make them count though. Safekeeper not able, I think it was Timu actually on the Soldier, not able to clear up with his Soldier ulti. Just really nice heads up play by Krakens, jumping into his face with the Diva, shutting him down, just making to separate him from his team, and jumps forward now as Silencio doesn't get a pin onto a wall though, so no one's going to go down at this stage. Does jump forward, and it seems like they've left Skyfire alone there. The team backed up and just they dive back. Silencio is wanting to jump forward at this stage. Charges up, but Waxadak manages to get it, and now we see Carried to Bronze actually jumping onto the point first. Now it's Team Viral's turn to fight in, and this is the first time Carried to Bronze has been able to pick it up pick up the first point. Rain trying to shut down Safekeeper, but Safekeeper does back into the side, and now they've got a very nice position. Does the side of Carried to Bronze. Waxadak jumps forward, drops that bubble. Dueling now with Sigs, but no one able to contest. Silencio actually goes into the air. Mercy saving his life at this stage. Silencio manages to get the turnaround kill actually on Waxadak, who tried to follow him, trying to get it at the last second, but that's the beauty of Creatix getting so much work in that first fight, as he has that res at this stage. Does manage to pick his team up, and we do see Rain with the high noon, doesn't manage to pick off anyone. Rain just sitting on this point now, and we see the Skyfire managing to get that lovely sound barrier down, keeping his team up and healthy, but both teams actually not managing to get the pickoffs that they need. Carried to Bronze now quite badly outnumbered, and it does seem like Team Viral at the end there just managed to pick it up. And now we see Krakens has that ultimate if he wants to try to pop it into the choke point as the team goes forward. And this is something Viral's been doing exceptionally well, just pushing forward, making sure to exploit that choke point, and with someone like a Pharaoh, they've got Silencio's now swapped off that Doomfist, maybe not getting the picks that he really wants, as Carried to Bronze actually says, you know what, take our choke point, we're going to dive straight past you, straight to your support. And now Indarium gets the 2-man res, keeps himself alive, and helps to get the kill with Silencio. But there is a lot of fighting on the point, as we see a very split fight. Timu going with the Dragon Blade, manages to get Gyro, but nothing else, and is now being hunted down by Sigs, does get taken down, as the rest of his team is on the points. We see the Team Viral still managing to hold this at this stage. Sigs playing with the last amount of lives. Indarium just seeming to manage to pick everyone up from this tiniest sliver. Really nice play by Team Viral to always know the exact limits of their hero. Never push too far, and it just means that Indarium, after using that res in the last fight, is already up to 90%. Silencio has an ultimate, Gyro has an ultimate, Sigs has an ultimate, and the only ultimate for Carried to Bronze to try and pull this back is Brent's ultimate, but with nothing to combo with. There have been no Zarias or anything in this game to get that really nice play. 92% for the side of for Indarium now is able to get up to that 99%. All he has to do is stay alive, jumps back to Rain, and you should see his team now. He just has to stay alive, and his team is going mad. They're getting the 4 pickoffs at this stage. Safekeeper actually dies at this stage, jumps off the side, and with only 5% left, they're going to need to get someone desperately. They put Timu on the Tracer, and he can't get through. Just gets pummeled down by Indarium on the Mercy. Silencio drops the barrage to make sure that no one can come through afterwards. Team Viral manages to pick up 2 games in a row. Indarium, with these reses, has just shown such an amount of work here. Hiding on the side there, picks it up, and with actually only a 2-man res, but again, knows exactly who his healing target needs to be. Jumps over the wall there, keeps Rain alive. Rain, 54 eliminations, 55% kill participation. I would have loved to have seen that play of the game going to him there with that triple kill with his ultimate. But you can see a lot of respect going thrown his way from, I'm not sure who did it at that stage. So, as we go out of this map, Team Viral has gone 2 maps up now. There are 4 maps to play. So, can Carried to Bronze come back? We've had 1 hybrid map. We've had 1 control point map. We now go to a 2 CP map, either Anubis or Volskaya. Carried to Bronze, if they have any hope left to stay in this competition, I think they may in fact be out of this competition at this stage after the group stage. The group as it stands before this round is group where are we playing? Here we go. Group B. Team Viral had 3 maps. Carried to Bronze had 2 maps. Teamwork Not Found, 404 Teamwork Not Found had 6 maps. And Karma Clan had 5 maps. So to even tie with the next best team, the top 2 teams from each pool do go through to the next round. So Karma Clan and Teamwork Not Found are both sitting at the top of the lead at this stage. Team Viral has taken the first 2 maps, which means they have a total of 5 maps with 2 still to play. Karma Clan only had 5 maps going into this, so if Teamwork Not Found does manage to take all 4 maps and Team Viral takes another map, they will go through ahead of Karma Clan. So it's very interesting. No one knows which game is going to go, which team is going to go, how the other game is going. So there is everything to play for. No one can sit back at this stage. Carried to Bronze, coming into this with only 2 maps, means that they needed at least 3 maps to even have a chance of going through. They have lost 2 now, so Carried to Bronze will be out of this competition. Viral still has everything to play for, and if they keep going at this rate, they've taken 2 out of 2, they've taken 3 out of the 3 control point maps. They have a very good chance of going through to the next round. I hope you guys don't mind, but I'm just going to quickly do the scores. I hope you don't mind seeing this screen. Team Viral does go ahead 2-0 in this round. And we can go back to our AFK screen. So, Anubis or Volskaya is the map choice. It is probably going to be Carried to Bronze that has the choice. Doesn't look like anyone has to restart a router or anything like that. Guys, what do you think of the chat? It will be very interesting to see how they go at this stage. Guys, let me know what you think of this. Give me a like if you're enjoying this video. Obviously, I have to do the old YouTube plugging of this. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you're just joining us, this is the amateur, the Overwatch Amateur Invitational, just a small private EU tournament with a couple of teams, and it is the last round of the group stage. Team Viral have taken the first 2 maps. They are now going on to either Anubis or Volskaya, and they are playing against Carried to Bronze. Carried to Bronze has not managed to take even a single point from Team Viral at this stage in the 3 CP, in the 3 control point. I think, no, sorry, my lies, the 3 Lijiang Tower, let's go with that. They were not able to take a single round on that, and Team Viral just looking incredibly strong, nearly shutting out that first round, but they are managing to do it, and it looks like we will be playing on Volskaya Industries. I see the chat there just suggesting I keep maybe the overlay on for the beginning of the round, just in case. It is only a 30-second delay, so I'll just have to talk you guys through what's going to be happening for these 2 teams. I hope I'm not adding to any sort of cheating or anything like that. I mean, these teams are playing really well, and it doesn't seem like anyone's counterpicking at this stage. But still, to be fair to both teams, you certainly don't want the attacking team to have any sort of advantage that they shouldn't. So, I am Altruism, if you guys don't know that. I know I'm getting a lot of guys that I haven't seen before in the chat, so welcome, guys, to my channel. Give me the subscribe, give me the thumbs up, follow me on you know, Facebook and Twitter and all of that to keep up to date with any future casting I do. I do a lot of Overwatch casting, I do a lot of Rocket League casting, I do a couple of other things here and there. But it seems like Team Viral is now again on the defense, and we do see actually a Zarya. This is her hometown, so this is the first time we're going to be seeing her. Indarium picking up the Sombra as well. That's going to be interesting to see. Going for the single support on Gyro's Anna. Indarium instead maybe looking to just get that EMP up early, looking to, you know, just control a couple of the health packs, and there are a lot of really nice health packs to hack at this stage in both of the side rooms and on the main point of the main choke. Not really a big shield bearer in the front of Team Viral, obviously looking to just overwhelm them. Silencio has taken the Reaper. On the attacking side, we see Timu going for a Reaper, Brent sticking to that Diva as always, Creatix going for the Anna, and we do see them taking the high ground at this stage. just looking, and both teams have stayed on the high ground. So Creatix is going to struggle to get some healing to the front line. Does manage to get a nice bar to grenade out, and does manage to get the healer. The Reinhardt just, you know, giving that ability to, they don't have a shield, does Team Viral, and that means that they've got 2,000 effective less HP for their team. And it does seem to be paying off for the side of Character Bronze. They have managed to hold on to this high ground now. Oh, missed sleep dart there from Anna could have made the difference. And now we see Safekeeper not doing it. And it, as spoke too soon, it has been, it looks like, the side of Team Viral to hold this at this stage. Creatix on the map does manage to get the sleep dart onto Sigs. Instantly woken up. Creatix does still go down. And there are 3 members for Character Bronze against the 2 of Team Viral, and it does seem to Character Bronze is reinforcing a little bit closer, but again, Sigs gets up that ulti very quickly, just managing to contest this. There hasn't been a single third tick. Timu going with the ultimate, spinning to winning, only managing to take out Gyro at this stage. Brent does go down. We do see Endarium picking up that EMP at this stage, and it doesn't seem to be enough though. I say that Safekeeper is hiding in the background, is going to go down, I'm sure, at this stage. Not a lot of health left. Timu being the last one left on the point, and Team Viral has managed to defend without giving off even a single third. Does hack that health pack now in the main room, and that means Gyro has going to have an ultimate. Both Annas, in fact, going to have an ultimate for this next fight. Going to be interesting to see who they pick them on. Silencio does have his ultimate, so that would be a very powerful target for the Nano Boost. Seems like Character Bronze is just trying to get in here. We see the Nano Boost coming out, and it is actually on the Reinhardt. Safekeeper coming out, does have his own ultimate if he wants to jump down and land this. We do see the, whiffed ultimate by Safekeeper. That was critical to hit. Kraken's was powered up, and he didn't manage to land it on him. That would have been huge if he managed to pin the nano boosted Zarya. It might not have, you know, killed him. Rain does get into the background. We've seen him doing a lot of work on this McCree, and we do see the EMP coming out. Timu going down to that headshot of Rain. Rain just getting a very powerful positioning here in this top room. No one able to jump to him, and Team Viral again holding on to this point with such solidarity that Rain is now just getting that high ground. You can see why he plays this McCree a lot. I mean, he's got the golden gun for it. Maybe he just plays a huge amount, but he's got this ultimate. That's 3 ultimates for the side of Team Viral against the 4 of Character Bronze. Rain has the positioning though, and with only 1 more real push into this, as long as he doesn't get picked off early, he could do it. Team Viral has set up really well on the high ground. And it is going to be pretty much a shooting gallery. Here comes the ultimate out from Rain. Has the skulls on 3. Should have popped it earlier and instead gets booped off by Brent. Oh no, that is catastrophic. We do see the Torbenstein coming out for the other side now. All of Team Viral getting picked off together. Man, what a misplay by Rain, and Brent doing so much work on this. On the Diva. Man, sorry, I'm actually speechless by the amount that could have cost them. They actually had the entire point hold, and they give it away. First point does go to Character Bronze. They now have 4 minutes to attack, and that was their last chance, and they made it count. Creatix and Timu both still having their ultimates. Brent's taking a lot of damage, getting healed back up at this stage, staying nice and healthy. Just seems like there's a huge amount of sustain for Character Bronze, and Creatix still not popping this nano boost at this stage. Timu does go down without letting his ultimate go, and it seems like Character Bronze might just need to back out. Maybe baiting out a couple of ultimates from Team Viral. Gyro does have his ultimate. Silencio picks off Brent. Brent just, you know, staying still at the end there, making sure to not make it too staggered, giving his life away. And it would be nice to see Team Viral has picked up 3 of their ultimates, including the Endarium EMP. So if they do see anything coming out, they can quickly shut it down and make sure there's no other follow-up. So maybe holding on to that to see if the Kraken's Graviton Surge, that's what the name is. Gyro actually staying very low on health, only 100 health at this stage. Should have used a grenade on himself at that stage, maybe just picking himself back up. Now we do see Carried to Bronze pushing around the side. Is now a big separation for Team Viral. A lot of their players going in out of the line of sight of Gyro, but you've got to remember there is that. Oh, what an EMP coming out, and Silencio with that. Oh, what an amazing spin there. What a Death Blossom. Picks up everyone. I know I missed that on the camera, but don't worry, guys. I am almost certain. I'm almost certain that that's going to be player of the game, and we just see Timu a little bit salty after that. Such BB. I assume that's Beyblade. With that, what a combination. And it wasn't even like Gyro had to pop the nano boost onto him. Just the EMP with that spin there just did a huge amount of work. Great grenade there by Gyro. We see now Silencio actually really low on health, does fall. Gyro sitting in the background. Now we see this Diva ult coming out, and does he manage to get into it? That's a lot of kills coming out for Carried to Bronze. Timu does have his ultimate, so I want to sit on him for a while. Does need to make sure Kraken's is down, so we see the nano boost coming out actually onto the Reinhardt, swinging around. Darium goes down, and a lot of players falling quickly now. We do see the nano boost finally onto Silencio, but you can't compete. Timu gets the spin, showing that the Reaper's doing a huge amount of work. This is 3 men onto the point, and will they get the final hold? Getting a couple of men jumping out millimeters from the end, and Sigs does get killed, and Darium does as well, and that is a double point capture for Carried to Bronze, where it looked like they weren't even going to be able to capture that first point. Timu asking for a pause. Creatix needs a restart. Team Viral, a couple of tiny little misplays there. Just Rain, I cannot believe he missed that opportunity to go. No, I cannot believe you guys missed that. I am so sorry for having that. I was so involved in that I didn't even put on, didn't take up the overlay. Sorry guys about that. I really should watch the chat more. So I hope you got a little bit of excitement from what I was explaining. We did see Team Viral there really close to holding both of the points. We saw an amazing well, I saw an amazing Beyblade from Silencio coming out, and Carried to Bronze instead coming out with a couple of massive plays by their own. Timu holding on to his Death Blossom there just until the last second, making sure to be able to clear the point with it when he needed, and they managed to play exceptionally well. Carried to Bronze, 46 seconds left on the clock. No, I lie, that's not for this timer. They managed to capture both points, and it's now all in Team Viral's court. Carried to Bronze had a lot of work to do. They had to come back and do a large amount of work to get themselves any sort of map, and they've certainly done the best that they could at this stage. Again, guys, sorry for the overlay. It's something every streamer will do at some stage. This is the first time I've done it, and I hope we can jump into it. That's what happens when, you know, you put the overlay on just to try and make sure that the attacking side doesn't get an advantage, and instead I messed it up for everyone. So, Viral picking up that Indarium Zarya, and I just felt in the beginning they got pushed incredibly hard by Carried to Bronze, because Carried to Bronze had that Reinhardt. They came out with the Reinhardt and they pushed straight into the map, and they had that extra 2000 HP, and when you're in those narrow corridors, that 2000 extra HP just makes such a difference. Timu doing really well to damage, and when you can sit behind a Reinhardt shield, it does a huge amount. Gyro not using his grenades on himself as much as I would have thought. I mean, he had a lot of time between rounds, and instead he sat on half life. And Endarium, sorry, it wasn't Endarium, it was Kraken's on the Zarya. Endarium playing really well on the Sombra, doing a nice amount of work, getting up a couple of good EMPs very quickly, and managing to get a couple of team fights going their way. The problem is, Carry to Bronze just played that much better. They knew exactly, they took a couple of team fights, and when they had the ultimates, it seems like Viral has the better play when there's no ultimates involved. They've got the better team play. They just seem to stay alive for a lot longer. They've got a lot of sustain. But Carry to Bronze is playing exceptionally well when they've got ultimates. They've got that Graviton Surge, which cleaned up the first point. They came out, they kept hold of that Death Blossom, did Timu, and the Nano Boost that they put onto, I think it was Waxadak, who was playing the Reinhardt. And that just, those two ultimates alone cleared up that second point, allowed them to take it, and they just knew exactly what was needed to take a fight. So, well played to Carry to Bronze. Team Viral's not out of it. There's always two sides to a competitive match. Team Viral now needs to come through, but they are going to have to take both points, come back, and then in the follow-up time, Carry to Bronze did take quite a long time to push the first point. I mean, they did it on basically their last push. Then they took a couple of pushes to break through Team Viral on the second point. So it's going to be interesting to see if Team Viral does manage to shut this, does manage to take 2 points, Carry to Bronze is going to be under a lot of pressure just from the time bank. But Team Viral has to break through first. They have to take both of these points. Hope you guys don't mind. I've been talking for a rather long time. I think it's about an hour and a half, an hour or so. So I'm going to have some water quick. Welcome to everyone on stream. If you guys are just joining in, this is the Amateur Invitational Overwatch tournaments. Just a small little one with a couple of teams from the EU region. This is the last game, or the last round of the group stages. Team Viral basically took the two first maps and needs as many points as they can if they have any chance of going through. If they take all 4 maps, and in the other map between 404 Teamwork Not Found and Karma Clan, if either of those teams takes a 4-0 sweep, then Team Viral can go through. But it is going to be a hard ask. It seems like both teams are ready. We're going to be jumping into it at this stage. I'm sorry if this gives an advantage to either attacking side, but I am not risking you guys not seeing the second half of Volskaya. I can't change the first half of that mistake. Carry to Bronze is now on the defense. Team Viral is on the offense. I was right. It is 46 seconds that they've got left on that time bank. So not a lot of time that they're going to have if Team Viral manages to push. Keeping a pretty same lineup from that first round. They're keeping Kraken's now going off the Zarya, instead onto the Diva at this stage. Silencio staying on the Reaper. Gyro staying on that. In fact, Gyro was on the Ana, is now playing the Lucio. Endarium sticking on that Sombra. Seem to enjoy that. And on offense, I do enjoy a Sombra a little bit more than on defense. Sig's going for the Winston, and Rain giving himself, instead of the McCree, the Soldier 76. So actually, not even a very similar lineup at all. I don't know what I was thinking. Carried to Bronze instead. Timu seeing the effectiveness of the Rain. McCree previously, let's see if he can get off a slightly more effective ult than Rain. Brent staying resolutely on the Diva. Creatix actually leaves the game. And I hope we get to pause. I see both teams panicking at this stage. Pause does come out, thankfully. Not a problem at this stage. Wasn't building any ult or anything like that. Problem is, that unless we read the server, he's not going to really be back in time for this first push. So we're probably going to read the server. Waxadak, just showing that they also enjoy the Zarya on the defense. Scarfire going for the Lucio on the defense. That's interesting. And Sakekeeper, not Safekeeper. I've been saying that wrong the entire round. I am so sorry, my friend. Sakekeeper is the Reinhardt in this. I will make sure to. Enderium. Interesting bit of chat going on there. So I'm just gonna go through. No, I am not putting on a splash screen or anything like that. I am sorry. I am not taking that risk. Both teams can. If we do read this, then we might see the same teams. But both teams pretty much locked in at this stage. And not really anything that you can counter. I mean, Team Viral has decent anti-Pharah work. They have pretty good anti-Tracer. Neither team really having any weak spots. I mean, Timu can put on a lot of damage if Viral wants to now try run a Pharah or something like that. Brent is very good against Pharah, shutting down those rockets. So unless Viral wants to really change up the entire team, Kratos has rejoined the game. So it looks like we won't be rehosting the server or anything like that. It will just be him trying to take a quick run back to the point here. As we see that the doors have actually opened. And they are going to have to run very quickly. So we'll see if Team Viral wants to give him just that couple of seconds to jump back into it and try to get back up to his team. He is an Ana though. That's the nice thing, is just that, you know, he can still heal from a distance, and I don't know if Character Bronze is going to be too badly affected. They do seem to be sitting on the low ground, which is interesting. They did know the value of the high ground, taking it in that previous one. Now Team Viral going, well, if you're not going to take the high ground, we certainly are, as Rain jumps straight up there, and the soldier from the high ground is devastating. His team is with him, and we do see him now running around to the other side, actually trying to get a crossfire going, just trying to shell damage from every point into them. And that's the problem if you've got a Reinhardt. Reinhardt cannot protect from everywhere. Ryan in a very dangerous position. No one's really able to charge up to him. Rain putting out a huge amount of damage. Good luck, Brent. You have come up, but he's so low on health at this stage. He can't really contest. Rain on the high ground does manage to escape with his life, but he is out of mech at this stage, and he can't really contribute much to the fight. And Rain, again, with a devastating position onto this. Timu already managing to get up that ultimate, doesn't manage to pick off anyone with it though, just because of this amazing high ground. And here come the sights from Rain. Oh man, this positioning, just Team Viral knew exactly. They had that game plan, and Carried to Bronze just gave them that high ground from the beginning, and they were not able to ever retake that. Rain just putting in that crossfire. Very quick push. Now Kraken's just jumping off the edge, probably just wants to swap quickly. He's lucky that he timed it perfectly, that he is going to be right back in the spawns. Kraken's is in fact not changing. He just wanted his mech back quickly, so fair enough. His team had the point. They weren't going to push forwards, and now Rain on the low ground doesn't choose to take the high ground, and instead just wants to shield damage from the back. We see them jumping in forward now, and with that early fight, they did take that so well. We see that combination, Enderium getting out the EMP, Timu managing to pick off a large amount of that damage, Rain shedding damage from the back, but not managing to find anyone. And it is in fact Carried to Bronze who has managed to hold this point. They now have the ultimate advantage. Two massive ultimates expended by the side of Team Viral. Carried to Bronze manages to come back. And we see Createx now just keeping his team up. And that's 5 ultimates, including the critical Graviton Surge. That could be huge. And I mean, you've got Timu's got that ultimate. No, I'm interested to see where he chooses to pick himself up. Goes into the high ground there. Maybe just, you know, getting a couple of nice hits out. Gyro is very far forward. We've seen him be very adventurous on his Lucio, and this is the problem, is you're not a tank, and while you're elusive against high quality players, you're going to give up your life. Timu is about to go down. He does in fact go down, just gets shut down by Krakens. Krakens now is the next target. I mean, Krakens now going on the next target. Going to be interesting to see what he does with this Diva ult. He has got it. We see another ultimate coming out. Silencio gets the Beyblade. Between that and range is clearing up a lot. Krakens is now slept onto the floor, and here comes the Diva ult, and this is a huge amount of damage that he could do. Doesn't manage to pick up anyone. Does make everyone scattered from the point. Safekeeper loses his shield because of it and does go down. Tordenstein comes down, but they haven't managed to get the Diva out of the mech yet. Oh, but it doesn't matter when you're faced against another Diva mech. Brent and Waxadak doing such an amazing work together there. Get the Graviton into the Diva bomb. There's no help, no coming back from that, and what a good turnaround. Managed to hold that point. There is still 4 minutes left on the clock. That is a long time, but Character Bronze has had to expend all of their ultis. Both teams now without ultis. A couple of people close to their ultis. Gyro nearly has his ultis, just being very offensive and getting in there to get that speed boost. Silencio going around one side while his team goes the other, and that means he can get in behind that shield with these massive shotgun blasts, and they are such big juicy targets. You know, you're fighting into a Zarya, you're fighting into a Diva. It means that you have a lot of damage that you can get out very quickly and a lot of value you can get. He does go down eventually. Character Bronze doing a great amount of work here. And Darium has another EMP. They just back up. Rain's got his ultimate. And Darium's got his. Couple of players close to carried to Bronze. Now we see Creatix and Brent both get up their ultimates, but neither of those ultimates going to do a lot if Darium gets off his ultimate and just holding back. And they're probably going to wait on that. You know, Gyro gets them forward. Oh, he misses his teleporter. Gets the nice jumping ultimate. Gets a couple of high people up. Timu gets one with the high noon. Now we see the beat come out from Character Bronze, and that should pretty much be enough to get them out of this. And Darium trying to flee for his life as he just tucks into the back room. Tries to hack the health kit, does manage to, but gets picked off by Timu. Really nice headshot by him. Character Bronze doing an incredible amount of work here to hold off this attack, and Team Viral not really able to capitalize on a couple of these ultis. They might want to just, you know, save up for a couple of big ultimates. They've got Gyro's Sound Barrier, they've got Kraken's, his Diva Bomb is up. We've got Silencio. We saw Silencio doing a huge amount of work with that Death Blossom. He did combo it though with Darium last time. Doesn't have it this time. And it's a hammer dunk. Goes straight into the Winston shield though, so not going to catch anyone. Now decides to just swing left and center. As we see this, Silencio gets a lot of value with his Death Blossom, but straight away that turnaround kill. I mean, Waxadak gets another high value Graviton Surge, and just again, that combination of Brent with the Diva Bomb and Waxadak with the ultimate means that they turn it around again. 2 ultimates, even though they got picked off, 3 of their members got picked off by Silencio's Death Blossom, it means that they had no chance to finish off that fight. They just didn't have the number advantage, and they were just able to be cleaned up. Timu now looking for a bit of space. His team's busy fighting, but he just wants to get off a really nice ultimate. Gets himself into a nice position to shoot down that channel. Maybe wants to let his team, and with only 60 seconds, there's pretty much only one fight left in this. Hides into the back. We do see the EMP come out, and we see actually Rain with it. And Timu comes out from the backside, lets it go, gets a double kill. Actually gets caught up by Krakens there, so not as much as he would have liked. And it could be, actually, this could be the chance for Team Viral. It's going to have to be, though. This is pretty much their last push. They do get one. They get clicked over to the first point, and Darium getting and starting that fight off very nicely with the EMP. Now looking for a couple more hacks, and does get a nice hack there. But Character Bronze managing to reinforce very quickly at this stage, and Viral starting to lose a couple of members. Gyro's down, Sigs is down as well. 4 left, and Rain is going to be soon followed after them if they don't manage to get back on the point. Only 8 seconds left at this stage. Viral is going to have to do a huge push at this stage, desperately trying to get onto the point to force an overtime and get something done. We do see Indarium on it there. He gets his ultimate by getting back there. Overtime is ticking down very quickly now. He does have his ultimate. He pops it out, gets the ultimate, but do they have the damage to follow up? No! They've actually got the Lucio sound barrier afterwards, meaning that the Indarium ultimate doesn't clean anyone up. They're staying very healthy. Carried to bronze. 5 men on fire at this stage, and they do manage to hold it. Carried to bronze take the match. They take the map, and they finally get themselves on the scoreboard. A couple of amazing plays coming out from both sides. Really well played, and I'm very excited. This has to be this Reaper that I managed to miss in the first round, and I didn't even get on stream for you guys because of it. Oh, what an amazing amount of play by both sides. Silencio's Reaper, we do see him picking off 5 by the end of this. Sneaks in the side, everyone's distracted, just spins to wins. Look at this quadruple kill, gets the mech out, and even manages to do a little bit of cackling in the last few seconds there. 31 enemies EMP'd. Indarium, you have to say, had a lot of EMPs up and running. Really well played to him, but couple of small mistakes. Rain not getting that play off there in the beginning, in that first point, meaning that they just lost it on a couple of last seconds. Carried to bronze. Well played to them. Managed to take the 3rd map. As we go into our final map, it is going to be... Man, I'm just getting so excited. I don't know if you can hear it by my voice, but we have a match on our hands. I mean, Carried to bronze is out of this competition, but Viral, if they have any chance, if they lose this, their best case scenario is to be tied with Karma Clan if Karma Clan lost 4-0 to 404, teamwork not found. If Team Viral take this, they have a chance. But Carried to bronze looked so devastating in that last one. Now, though, is the game of inches. It's the escort maps. It's Dorado or Route 66. 2 very open maps. Both maps where Farah can do a lot of work. And we have seen Farah doing really, really well for both sides at this stage. I'm just going to update the scores quickly. And guys, I promise I will make sure that we don't get a stream. You will see this one. So we are going to Dorado. Viral is going to be on red. So we get a score now for the side of Carried to bronze. Looking to even it up in this last point, and team's just busy arguing a little bit about the technicalities of this map, but it does seem to be that everything is sorted out. So, no cheese strats coming out at this stage. Both teams realizing that there's still a lot to play for. Timu not going for the soldier, and especially considering the long sidelines in this map, I think just maybe trying to hold back. This is a very flankable position, so staying on that soldier, on the McCree. Brent on his ever-present, ever-resolute Diva with those golden guns. How could you blame him? Been playing really, really well on this. Kratex going on the... Hannah just throwing a grenade up in the air, waiting to see how long it takes down. There it comes. Waxadak going actually on the Zarya Skyfire on the Lucio, and Safekeeper just getting that big shield, making sure that they can hold the high ground. Team Viral going. Silencio does go onto that Farah combo with Indarium on the Mercy. That's been doing a lot of work at this stage. Sigs jumps very far forward. Actually managed between him and Rain to get that kill on Timu. Rain picking up a Widowmaker, the first of the map at this stage. And it seems like Viral just is wanting to go all in at this stage. Sigs diving very deep, getting himself into the back line there. Does take a lot of damage, but you know, keeping himself. He's got the support there. Rain doing a huge amount of work here on this Widow. Where has this Widow been all these maps? And just appreciates these long side maps. Silencio picks off a second now, and Viral pretty much steamrolling this first push. Carried to Bronze might have a bit of time to come back, but Rain's taken an incredibly offensive position now up on that high ground. Looking to it, nearly has his ultimate. Is looking to just shell down a couple more shots in. Trying to get off the pick. Oh! Sneaks around the corner. Perfect use of that ulti. If you guys ever wanted to know how to use a Widow ulti, that's exactly how to use it. Silencio does have his ultimate up at this stage and is looking to push forward, but just so much space creation from these DPS players from the side of Team Viral means that that payload has already reached the first marker, is pushing at an incredible pace, and is looking to push forward with an incredible amount of speed, just keeping one man on the payload, everyone else coming out. Now we see Timu actually swapping onto a Widowmaker, just trying to shut down Silencio, not able to get anything. And that's the problem, is with a pharmacy combo, it means that you have to get that headshot, and if you only get a body shot, this is what happens. Timu gets taken down. Farah becomes the counter for the Widowmaker, as Silencio just doing a huge amount of damage. Those damage boosted rockets means that it's huge. Now we see actually the Winston jumps up, but gets instantly booped off. Both teams throwing out their Diva Bombs. Kraken's is the only one to find a kill though on the Anno, and we see now Silencio just with that support of the Mercy jumps through the doorway to push it, and again this payload basically hasn't stopped moving. We see it now almost completely onto the next point. The boop actually sends the mech over the top, and it has gone to the second point with basically 5.5 minutes left. Viral is looking incredibly strong. Silencio still hasn't dropped this barrage. Enderium still has his res, and we know that he can get a huge amount of work out of that. Damage boost coming out, and Silencio now looking for a couple more kills. And it's gonna have to be Carried to Bronze who do a lot. They've got both their defensive ultimates. Scarfire needs to make sure he doesn't die before popping his though, because that could be huge. We do see Sigs now being damage boost. No, it's Waxadak getting shot left, right, and center. Goes very deep, but it doesn't manage to pick off anyone, even with that nano boost. We now see, oh, the Sake Keeper, my apologies, I promise not to do that again, does manage to do it. Enderium does pick everyone back up, and Sake Keeper does shut down very well. Timu taking a lot of damage, just trying to stay alive. Gyro on the Zenyatta. We haven't seen a lot of Zenyatta from him today. Timu now just trying to do some work. Needs to be careful about being shot off by the Widowmaker. There he does in fact actually deflect a Widowmaker shot. And finally Carried to Bronze looking a little bit more secure on the payload, looking to get a little bit more control. And it's now just a case of, oh, he's now hunting down this Mercy. Doesn't manage to get that pick off, and unless you can keep going with it. We do see Brent getting a nice pick forward there, and that Diva Bomb's not going to do much. Actually manages to pick up Enderium. No, that was still the old one. Just Waxadak, so cognizant of where all these Diva Bombs are going, managing to hold all of them in the bubbles. And it means that they haven't been able to get anything. Safe Keeper just not able to stay up at this stage, and Enderium really wants to get this res up. His players, he's got everyone that he can on this payload. That's going to be a lot of ultimate charge. He picks Sigs up almost from 0 health now, and with a Sarts coming out, we do see Gyro popping out that lovely ultimate at this stage. Not really getting a lot with Sake Keeper with that ultimate. Now we see Timu going with his ultimate, trying to slash and dice. Does actually manage to get the kill on the Winston. We do see Viral getting pushed off quite significantly. 3 minutes left though, and they only have to push it these last couple of meters. Carried to Bronze. Waxadak has an ultimate. Brent is close, but no really powerful ultimate there to shut down. And you're going against a resurrection. You're going against a barrage. You're going against even a pulse bomb can prove dangerous. We have seen Rain doing a lot of work with these pulse bombs as he goes into the back line there. Actually gets picked off. Nearly got the kill onto the Ana there, but not able to pick anything up. We see Silencio just coming in over the top. Really needs to get that diva out of the mech, and Sakekeeper has been doing a huge amount of work. Oh, he does get picked off, and Darren with the res now. Sakekeeper has been doing a lot of work to shut him down very quickly, and it does seem that there has been a lot of work here by the offense of Viral, but they still have not managed to kill off these tanks. Waxadak and Brent's just managing to hold that back line, just making sure that Viral not able to really get anything, and Silencio is really struggling to find any sort of attack point to drop this ultimate. But between Sakekeeper and his amazing soldier play, he's always got a rocket ready to turn around and put into the face of Silencio. And Brent has always got that defense matrix, which you have to be aware of, and it means that you cannot just dive in and try to drop the entire ultimate. You need to try and get that mech out, and we see Brent actually taking a lot of damage, focusing instead on shooting this giant monkey. You can see the call has been made. Finally Silencio gets down that, and Brent was so busy focused on trying to kill the Winston that he forgot about the Pharah, and his job was to try and hold that. So now this could be the opening for Team Viral. Timu doesn't get a lot off his ultimate. We see this Diva Bomb gets placed on, manages to pick up Waxadak, and gets the mech from Brent, also picking up Scarfire. Huge amount of work, and Team Viral has now pushed very well onto this payload. They've only got to get it the last couple of minutes, and the Silencio swap finally to the Reaper, just understanding that his Pharah is not doing a lot of work, and they do a huge amount here on this last point. They get it the whole distance, and just they had so much time. They were allowed to prod, they were allowed to poke, and just get those last couple of meters, try a couple of different things, because they pushed it so quickly there in the beginning. Really, really good play by Viral to keep that payload moving, and Carry to Bronze did a lot of work in the beginning, at the end there, to just stop the payload ticking over that final marker, to stop it going there. The tanks were alive for so long, and then there was one just misplay where they allowed Silencio to come in to get a huge amount of value off his barrage. They allowed a couple silly kills to go their way, and they just weren't able to get back on the payload. And the problem is Viral just pushed so consistently. They got it up there, and all they needed was one team fight. They pushed it all the way. They've still got 41 seconds left in the time bank, and it's now going to be Bronze to try and get that third map. Viral, they needed this map to stay in the competition if they had any chance, and they've managed to do a pretty good job of it. Now all they have to do is defend. They just need to stop this from being a full push, and they've gone. Silencio's gone back to the Doomfist. Krakens has gone on that Zarya. Maybe just looking to keep the Doomfist alive for a little bit longer. Gyro and Endarium, two supports that can really help just keep Doomfist alive if he dives a little bit too deep. Sig stays back to keep his team. They've got a lot of long range damage. They've got Gyro, they've got Rain. They've got even Endarium who can put out damage from a distance from this high ground. Silencio is probably going to not dive too deeply there. He's got that escape, and with the verticality on this map, he does have a lot of ability to just get out of problems here. Carry to Bronze has Timu. They've gone a lot of dive here. Sakekeeper has gone onto the Soldier, just, hoping to contest this high ground, and that is a lot of damage coming out that they've managed to actually push through. They do manage to get the punch. Silencio, but not a pick off at this stage. There is no wall behind them, and these maps are pretty open at this stage, so to get a pick there in mid-air, he actually manages to do it. It's so difficult on this point though to get a pin onto someone else, and he does manage to just transition between these high grounds so effectively. So a nice pick up there by Silencio. Sakekeeper doing a lot of work on this Soldier 76 at this stage. Timu doing even more though on the Genji. The Genji just nearly picking it up and actually dives into the backline. Does manage to get the pick onto Gyro. Dives very deep now. Maybe has gone too deep. He does. Rain manages to pick him off. We see the rest of his team still very far back as they're trying to shell out damage now. Kratos actually quite far forward. There we get the sleep onto Brent. Brent is very low on health, but manages to get out and does dive back in. Character Brian still fighting very, very tightly with this Team Viral side. Silencio does go down, maybe just a little bit too far forward, and oh, very close there for Krakens. Doesn't manage to save his life though, as Character Bronze finally managed to clear the payload. Finally managed to get a couple of picks going their way. Siggs wants to come back, but it looks like he's just feeling a little bit of ultimate charge. Stun on there on Brent means he can't dive through. And Siggs somehow manages to come out there. Managing to dive backwards at this stage. A lot of ultimates coming out for the side of Team Viral. And it's going to be interesting to see how Silencio uses his ultimate. I mean, 5 ultimates for the side of Team Viral, only 2 for the side, now 3 for Character Bronze, 4 in fact as Timus comes up as well. Silencio does get a couple of punches, but there's no one to pin them against. So now we see him just having to drop down. No one really wanting to contest this payload at this stage, waiting for them to push up. We now see the beat coming down, and it's going to be interesting. He actually goes onto the wall, doesn't manage to find anyone, and he's now very deep into enemy territory. It's going to be interesting to see if he comes out. Cannot at this stage. Rain in the background doing an incredible amount of work though. Just manages to pick off 3. So everyone was so distracted by Silencio's Doomfist in the background that they forgot there was the rest of a DPS side. And Viral has managed to take control of this payload, and the call has been made. Get back, get to the high ground, just get that that positioning at this stage. And Timu's going to be wanting to jump out. In fact, they've got the ultimate out. They managed to bait it out from the Transcendence from Gyro. So he's not going to have that if Timu does decide to pull out his Dragon Blade. He does manage to get pick off 2 now. A little bit low on health, and he's going for Krakens, looking for the next kill. Does manage to pick it up. Doesn't even look like he's going to need the Dragon Blade as he changes Enderium into the background there. Does get hit by the grenade, but has a little bit of escape tools. Gets back to his team, picks up the Orb of Harmony, and a good push now. Character Bronze just recollecting, manages to jump over that's Earth Shatter now, pulls out his blade, manages to get 1, but Rain again still doing so much work, getting that positioning going on the oh, now a little bit of cheekiness as he just waits for Brent to stagger that death. Just really good game sense. No one here actually to pick up Siggs, low on health, but Rain just understanding the game so well, knowing where the higher ground is, knowing how important it is, getting a couple of picks and knowing when to stagger. So good play by Team Viral to retake this. Character Bronze has shown a lot of diligence in grouping up and making good pushes. They pushed it. They only needed a couple of meters left. They've still got 2 minutes left on the clock, but they need to understand how difficult it is to get that last push. I mean, we saw them defend it for so long. Rain isn't doing a lot from this damage just because of the damage drop-off. I mean, we do see them splitting up. I mean, he's shooting onto Kratos, but isn't even breaking through his shield at this stage and getting a couple of damage. But pause has been called as we've lost a man for the side of Team Viral. That's going to be critical. I mean, I'm not 100% sure who Silencio has dropped out, and considering he's a DPS player, I'm not 100% sure who he was on. But if you guys aren't aware, if you disconnect and you rejoin, you lose any ultimate charge that you've accrued. So I really hope he didn't have an ultimate waiting in the wings there. 1.68 meters left to go for Character Bronze to push. But they've got, Team Viral has got a couple of members on the floor there ready to contest. They've got Gyro sitting behind Siggs with the Reinhardt shield, who can push forward a little bit. Reinhardt shield can't be doing too healthy as he's got a Diva and a McCree shelling into it. I mean, Skyfire would have done a bit of damage as well. Zenyatta always get a good number of plinks with his balls into that shield. So there's going to have to be a lot of work done here by Rain to really just put some damage in from the side here and crossfire onto these guys on the point, because there we have Brent with his ultimate on the point. I mean, worst case scenario, he could really just pop his Diva mech, sit on the payload, and it's going to be very difficult for anyone to contest that point, and they could just push it over the last 1.6 meters by brute force if they had to. They have lost one member of their team. It is Scarfire, it is the Lucio, so they've got everyone onto the point, probably in the positions that they want. They've got a couple of very important ultimates though. They have Safekeepers High Noon. They have Waxadak if they really want to try and just stall out the payload and keep someone on it to make sure that they've got no problem. They've got the Diva ult. From the side of Team Viral though, it's going to be interesting to see how and when they use this Graviton Surge. I mean, you've got to make sure that it's not swallowed by the Diva, and at this stage the Diva is looking straight down the barrel of the choke point. So that's going to be a difficult Graviton Surge. They're also very spread out, is Carried to Bronze, so he's not going to be able to catch more than 2 or 3 players in that Graviton Surge. Also, you've not really got any amazing ultimates to combo with it. I mean, we chatted in the earlier games about how they had a Hanzo but no one to combo with. They had a Pharah but no one to combo it with. So now they've got the Grav, but they don't have any massive ultimates. At the same time, they've got Endarium with his Nano Boost. I mean, you put a Nano Boost on a Reinhardt, and then you put a Graviton Surge into people. You put a Nano Boosted Reinhardt swinging his hammer left, right, and center through the middle of people, and he's doing a massive amount of cleave damage, and it can take down a lot of targets very, very quickly. And the nice thing about that is that a Defense Matrix doesn't help. A Waxadak Bubble doesn't help. Nothing helps. A Deflect doesn't help, because you've just got this massive cleave damage coming through at melee range. And as long as you've got someone there to keep them topped up, and I mean with the Kraken's Bubble, with the Gyro, Harmony Orb, with the Endarium's healing on the back of it, Siggs has a lot of sustainability that he could really chew through the enemy team. And what's more, he could easily then get his ultimate through that, pop that onto the floor if there's anyone that they still need to clean up that they don't manage to, or just have it for the next fight. I mean, the dovetailing that could come out from Team Viral if they play it right. If they play it wrong, Brent pops his ultimate, pushes everyone off the payload. Viral spends half their ultimate, still doesn't manage to stop the payload. I mean, worst case scenario for them is they pop their ultimates, they don't get enough out of them, and Carried to Bronze pushes it just over the checkpoint anyway. Or Carried to Bronze pushes it, and Team Viral is so busy trying to use their ultimates and get the kills that they don't keep someone on the payload to contest it. And Carried to Bronze gets it on, and basically the ultimates have been used for nothing. They haven't created any space, they haven't held any ground, and that's something that a lot of newer players don't realize, is what is the ultimate achieving? Is it getting kills? Great, fantastic, but what do kills get you? I mean, there is no limited respawns in Overwatch. There is no it gives you time. That's all an ultimate really gives you. And if you've just taken the checkpoints, you get the closer spawn, you get the quicker respawn to reinforce the fight, and you've got to wait for the doors to open and everything like that. So using your ultimates after the checkpoint is really not the best case scenario, and Team Viral needs to be very aware of that. Either they need to win the fight before the point is taken, or they need to give up the point. I mean, there still has to be Carried to Bronze pushing to the very end. 1:33 left on the clock before they get the next tick. So they've got a bit of time to work with. But if Viral wastes their ultimates, they might not get another Graviton by the end of this map. And Carried to Bronze could just push through. They could go straight through. I mean, if Safekeeper gets a really nice High Noon at this stage, picks off 2 or 3 heroes, and then they trickle the rest of Team Viral, and then at the end of it they end up getting a really nice Transcendence and Dragon Blade, or they just outlast them with the Transcendence, and Scarfire is going to have his sound barrier at the end of it. They're going to have a lot of sustain through this, so it's going to be difficult for Viral with the limited damage that they've got. I mean, Krakens is going to have to get onto high charge if he has any chance. And if he gets picked off, yes, him running out of spawn is great and contest, but he won't have the damage to pull through. And Derium doesn't have the damage to pull through. Gyro is now going to be firing down, and he's going to have to be a lot of the damage. But if Timu jumps into the back lines, they could very easily lose Gyro. And it's that sort of dangerous part of the game where if you're not focused, I mean, there's so much to focus on. You need to keep someone on the payload, but you also need to protect your supports, as the rest of the game is. You need to keep someone contesting, but you also need to keep the high ground. And it's really, Carry to Bronze has a lot of tools to work with. They have a huge amount of mobility between the Lucio just getting guys in and out. They've got Keeper, who does a lot of damage from the high ground and still can give good presence on the payload if he needs to drop down. They've got Waxadak and Brent, who can jump around and be where they need to. And Timu is obviously, the Genji is one of the most mobile characters in the game. So he can keep reinforcing as much as needs be. So Viral has to be very, very aware of where the threats are coming from, what the threats are, and how to counter that. I mean, we did see Gyro previously using that Transcendence before Timu pulled the Dragon Blade, and Transcendence is one of the best counters in the game for a Dragon Blade. Scarfire is there as well, but isn't as a reliable counter towards Dragon Blade. I mean, sometimes it takes so long for you to get that sound barrier off as he jumps through the air that Timu might have a kill already, or everyone might be scattering at that stage, and you don't manage to clip everyone. So Gyro needs to be very aware of where the Dragon Blade is coming from. I mean, he doesn't need to pop it against a Winston ult or something like that. The nice thing for Viral is, with the change to Zarya, you don't have to worry about D.Va flying out, or Waxadak jumping out, or Timu just dashing out, or anything like that. Those characters that would have had that in the previous patch, they don't have that sort of escapability anymore, and you do have a much more guaranteed, but they do have a lot of counter to the Graviton Surge. They've got the Transcendence. If Krakens waits too long, Creatix could have a Transcendence, and then that basically means your entire Graviton Surge. They don't have the damage to fight through that. They don't have a Nano Boost Reaper who can tear through it, or something like a D.Va Bomb that could really just go into the middle and explode it. So if Creatix is clever, he could save his Transcendence just for the Graviton Surge. So it's going to be very interesting to see how both of these teams goes into this last fight. And Team Viral must be under a lot of pressure. I mean, they do have the full point. They do at least have that full push. It's not like they got stalled out just before the final point. So if they do lose, if they do mess everything up, it then goes to the next round, and that'll be okay for them. Carry to Bronze needs to win this, needs to go all the way through, push it to the end, and then they can try and focus on the next round. But they have to do it at this stage, and they've got a lot of tools going their way. It's going to be interesting to see how they cope with this loss. We seem to have him back, Silencio, back on Discord, but he's not actually in the game as of yet. Seems like the teams are being very patient, at least. Not worried about this at this stage. So I wish I just had some music for you guys to play for you guys. You guys must be so sick and tired of hearing my voice. I'm gonna see if I can try to figure out it. If anyone in the chat is from the other game, or knows anything about the other game of 4-4 Teamwork Not Found versus Karma Clan, please let me know. I would love to see what happened there, just so I know what has to happen in this match. I mean, I have no idea how long we have to wait, so we may as well chat about that. Granted, that'll be 30-second delay or something like that. But there's a lot of just chat going through. I'm very glad I'm not focusing on it. Just Derium going, that's gross. Okay. I don't really want to see that, chat. Man, I wish I didn't start paying attention to that. So, skins. I really don't even know what else I can talk about in this match. I see we've had a couple of guys already getting a lot of the skins. I got the new Doomfist skin. I think it's the new one. My first crate was the Lucia, the Doomfist legendary skin. So I'm quite chuffed about that. I see Rayn's got the new McCree skin. I know Silencio had the new Reaper skin there that we saw. Not sure who else has their skins. No, I don't have any music for now, simply because I don't know what music I'm allowed to actually play. You know, the last thing I want is for the 30 seconds while this guy, or, 10 minutes that this guy takes to come back, to have my entire stream muted because of that last 30 seconds. So, that would suck. So, wow, I really want to just get rid of this chat now. I'm just going to go to a very innocuous point of the chat. Oh no, it's still going. That's not great. I hope you guys don't have to read this. Oh man. If you guys, I hold no credit for what is happening in the game, in the chat. They just are doing their own thing, so they have to. If you really want to watch that, go pause the VOD or something like that. It seems like we are not having anyone coming back on. I mean, the guys in Discord, I don't know what's going on. Let's see if I can find out. I mean, get the sub in. People are. Okay, we have a sub in, it seems like. And so we're going to be jumping back into this map. We do see the high noon coming down, and Darium has fallen very quickly. And Rain is, wow, coming out at this stage. We do see Creatix doing a lot of work at this stage, getting a lot. And there we do see, actually, Carried to Bronze has managed to pull back in. Creatix does have his ultimate almost ready. Krakens didn't manage to get out that Graviton Surge, so at least they didn't waste it, and Darium didn't waste his ultimate. So they're going to be happy about that, but it is now Carried to Bronze who has a lot of work going. Really good communication coming out at this stage so that they see, I mean, that McCree is, Rain is in a very, very bad position there, and the team does pick up on that very, very quickly. So now we see the Dragon Blade coming out, and Creatix doesn't even care about his team. Oh, it was his team's Dragon Blade, of course, it was Timu coming out with that Dragon Blade, managing to pick off two, and Waxadak coming out and picking up the next two. So a really quick push, and they've still got two defensive ultimates, does the side. So this is going to have to be a very long stall for the side of Team Viral. When we see the high noon coming out and doesn't manage to pick off anyone. Creatix does manage to come out and is doing a lot of work now. I mean, Timu's on fire. Now the actually gets caught, and that was what I was talking about, is Krakens had to make sure that the Graviton Surge wasn't swallowed. Was Diva doing a lot of work there to manage to hold that, and now it's just 3.56 meters away, less 0.87 meters away, and they see it pushed over. So with a minute 37 still left on the clock, Carried to Bronze pushes it all the way. We now go to a time bank. Man, what a long game this has been. I mean, we're nearly 2.5 hours into this. Both of these teams pushing at this stage. Hopefully, we can get a quick game on this. It's gonna be interesting to see. Viral now is going to be on the attack. Yes. So, Carried to Bronze has the longer amount of time after that. So they are defending first, And this is where Viral did shine, though. They managed to push basically from here all the way to that second checkpoint without stopping. So they've shown that they don't really need a lot of time, they just need to keep up that consistent pressure. Viral is changing it up a little bit now, not going for the Reinhardt, instead going for quite a dive combination here with both Timu and Waxadak again going on this Genji and Winston combination. They've got the long range healing from Creator. Skyfire actually on the Lucio, maybe hoping to get everyone else back in or into helping range there. I mean, Safekeeper is wanting to also be in the fight there and also just get people out. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they deal with it at this stage. Safekeeper is going to be the one I'm going to be watching just because he can do a lot of damage, and he's going to be the one just trying to shell that damage. No one committing from the side of Character Bronze, and that's the nice thing about having this high ground position is they can choose when they really want to dive in. We do see Gyro diving in very quickly, and now Safekeeper is able to go and reinforce his side, and does fall back a little bit. No one really... Oh, Gyro is the first casualty in this game. Does go down. Has managed to pick up 41%. And we do have a minute, just 30 seconds left on the clock. So they do need to keep a constant pressure on this payload, does Team Viral. And Safekeeper staying alive and putting out a lot of damage. Krakens is going to go down. Doesn't manage to get picked off, and now Rain just trying to stay on the side there. Showed a lot of promise with that Widowmaker last time, but not managing to do anything. Timu doing a huge amount of work, pushing forward. 1 second left, and is anyone able to get back on the payload? We do see them just jumping forward, and now Timu on the back line just wanting to clean up a couple of these supports. Doesn't manage to pick up any sort of kill, and it does seem like, wow, Gyro has managed to pick up his Dragon Blade. Timu has picked it up as well, but Team Viral managed to pick up, just get back on that payload, and just is stalling it out now at this stage. Really nice bit of play by them, and they keep it pushing, and Safekeeper is running for his life at this stage, has his ultimate, not managing to pick off Rain at that last second, and just with overtime on the clock, they are going to have to give up this first point. Team Viral again showing just that their constant pressure on this payload. They've managed to pick it up, so they don't get another tick. They're going to have to keep on this payload, and with something like Safekeeper's High Noon, they can... Character Bronze can push the entire team off the payload as we see it coming out. Now everyone dives for cover. We see Rain getting picked off, but a very ambitious dive there. Nicely played by Gyro actually to pick it, to turn that onto the McCream. Now we see Timu on the other side just trying to fight into the Iris. Isn't able to get anyone down. We see that now Diva Bomb coming out forces everyone off, and just Team Viral staying very healthy and very alive on this payload. Just making sure to always keep someone, and they've got a lot of very elusive and very tanky characters on this. We've got the Diva who can stall out for a huge amount of time. They've got Rain on the Tracer who can dart in and out. They've got Voxtronics on the Lucio to come bouncing around and just keep everyone healed up. And Gyro doing a great work on that Genji. And it seems like that Team Viral may actually be able to push it all the way to the second checkpoint, which is going to be a massive ask for the side of Character Bronze. I mean, we did see them getting stalled out a little bit in it, but they also did manage to pull through. So they're going to try and have one last defense. Gets the stun on Rain. Safekeeper just knowing exactly what he had to do, and Tracer should be able to get back into the work quite early, as we do see Gyro pulling out that Dragon Blade. Slashes Safekeeper in the background. Goes for the mech actually. Does get it. Plays with his life. But does a lot of work here in the background. Now it's Timu's time to pull out his. Also picks up the mech. Manages to get onto Krakens. And this may actually be the time for Character Bronze to get their members, get the payload back under. They don't manage to finish off. There we go, Sigs does it, and they manage to push it off. So, Character Bronze managing to stop the payload. 81 meters, shutting it down importantly before that second checkpoint. So, Team Viral, they showed that they had a lot of ability to stall out in the beginning, and they are going to have to do it pretty well. They did manage to get that checkpoint, so a good distance, a defendable distance. And it's now with a minute 37 on the clock for Carry to Bronze. And we will have our final score for the evening. So, Carry to Bronze now going to be on the attack. Team Viral on the defense. Gyro sticking with that Genji. Voxtronic sticking with the Lucio. Krakens on the Diva. Enderium sticking on that Anna. Sigs on the Winston. And Rain with the consistent damage on the Soldier. So pretty standard lineup coming out from them. Carried to Bronze. Is this going to be a bit of cheese? Waxadak puts on the on the Bastion. Please tell me that's not a fake. Please tell me Waxadak is going to be changing off his ever-present Winston, and he's counting down the time. No, there he goes back onto it. Say Keeper, you know, using the Peacekeeper. Scarfire favoring the Lucio. Waxadak on his Winston. Creatix again on the Zenyatta. Brent never swapping once for a second off the Diva. And Timu going into the back lines, trying to get something done. Payload's pushing very quickly forward as Creatix keeping everyone nice and topped up at this stage. A lot of damage coming out from both sides. Everyone's staying pretty healthy. Timu not going too deep at this stage. Yeah, has got that Harmony Orb on him, and no one really falling. Team Viral's lost a couple of people. Waxadak finally goes down. Timu's diving back, hopes to get a nice Harmony Orb on him, and it seems like a lot of really good work here by the side of Carry to Bronze, just making sure to keep out that pressure. Oh, here we go. A couple of players from the back. Rain just holding that high ground for a couple more seconds. Does hold on to it. He does now have his tack fires, and he pulls it out. Gets Timu down. Gets one down. Saykeeper also is going to fall. And there, Brent just wasn't able to shut down that tack fires. Just great positioning by Rain to be able to get past that defense matrix. And with 18 seconds left, there's still a fair distance to go for the side of Team Viral that they've got to defend. And they're going to be pretty happy with this. Rent has his ultimate, has the ability to clear it out, and Carry to Bronze has a lot of ultimates, so they've got the tools to pull it out. They just need to not give away anything stupid. They've pushed it out. Brent does push it into the side there, and it does seem like Team Viral does have to just drop it back. So, Carry to Bronze gets through their first checkpoint, is again going to have to do this all in overtime. So, it's going to be that typical don't let anyone off the payload. They've only got one on it, two at this stage. Just pushing forward. Timu does have that Dragon Blade. Reflects back, has that Harmony Orb on him, so he's going to be looking for that perfect opportunity. Just wants to jump onto the high ground, maybe look for a couple of the squishes. Sigs very far forward, but does have the ultimate to go out. And we do see a Junkrat coming out. Gyro just coming out and looking to use that tire to hopefully get a kill. Doesn't get anything. Rain comes out with that ultimate, clearing up the payload. Brent is the last one left. Overtime ticks down, and Team Viral takes the third map. Well played to both sides. Really long match. And Viral ends up with the final score of 3 maps to 1. They end on a final score of 7 for the day. At the beginning of this, only the top 2 teams from this group go through. 404 Teamwork Not Found had 6, and Karma Clan had 5. Gyro actually picks up the play of the game at this stage on the Zenyatta here in the last few minutes of the game. Picks off the double kill actually with his charged off orbs. Charged for attack. Zenyatta there even shuts down the attack visor of the soldier. So a lot of respect coming in the way of Rain, doing a huge amount of damage and just constantly in a really good position to do it. Well played to both teams, but Team Viral does come out ahead. Guys, it has been an absolute pleasure casting for you tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. I have been Ultraism, and I hope to see you guys next time when we bring you probably the playoff rounds of this, the amateur Overwatch Invitational. Guys, make sure to follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, and hit that subscribe button or that follow button, depending on what you're watching on. I stream on YouTube and Twitch, and I will see you next time. Cheers, guys. Good night.